And then we have the spiritual. I talked about the higher self, awareness of awareness, collapsing the woo-woo gap, and honoring the powerful present moment. That's important. The powerful present moment is your consciousness is pure, it should always be pure, right? And then the thought, you want your thought pure. You don't want to be thinking about anxiety over the future or regrets of the past. You want to have this clear. And this is why people say you can't create great plans from a place of scarcity, because if you're already stressed out, if you're in fight or flight, you're not going to be able to come up with your best work there. So you have to have that present moment, has to be pure. And then the other one is mind. You want the mind functioning and operating. You don't want it distracted. That's, they call it, talk about mindfulness. And you can meditate. And one of the benefits of meditating is that it's faster to get to a mindfulness state. The more you, it's almost like if you meditate, it's easy to get mindful. I'm going to make this up, for 5 minutes after the meditation session, but you meditate a little bit longer, more days and more weeks, and now you can hold it for an hour. Eventually you can hold that mindfulness, ease into mindfulness all the way around to the next meditation session. So like I said, there's a lot of benefits with meditation, but it's not required to start the journey. And then I already commented, use the higher self to retrain your subconscious and put the automaticity. See, we were going to put the automaticity to work for you. We've all seen the automaticity of the subconscious. Now we're going to put the automaticity to work for us. Typical stimulus response, we're retraining the subconscious to scan for the positive. This is the positivity exercise. And before I get there, this is your empowerment catalysts. And you can take a screenshot of that. So it's reframing is on there. You can see I've got transformational vocabulary, box breathing, power posing is on there, gratitude reflection, some of the common things you've seen, journaling. There's more. I've got dozens of these, and it depends on what I'm running to. So I talk about retraining the subconscious with the positivity drill. Now, this is that same diagram, but you can see it's adding some things. So I have the stimulus, we saw the reaction, and we saw the response. But now we have this positivity drill I'm putting in there, and we have this assess and choice. So when I talk about a pause between the stimulus, the reaction, and the choice, we're only talking a quarter of a second or a half second. A half second is enough of a pause to not be triggered, because you're making the reaction a data point. You're making this a data point, and then you assess it to see, what do I want to do about this data point? Do I want to do it? Maybe I'll delay it. Maybe I'll dump it because it doesn't matter, or delegate it. I'll give it to somebody else, another team, or I'll handle it at another time in a meeting, whatever. And then we have the positivity training. Now we're training the subconscious. This is not an intellectual exercise that you're learning to do something differently. This is you retraining your subconscious. So literally 3 times a day, come up with 3 different incidents, start small, easy, do it 3 times a day. When I did it with meals, and come up with a negative experience and immediately flip to the more positive, to the larger positive context. So in this case, the car, I couldn't have a flat tire if I didn't have a car. So I'm very grateful to have a car. So when your subconscious is trained and taught to look at danger and threat in the context of this, because of something I wanted. See, at one point, having a car was a goal. Now I reached the goal, but it comes along with some things like putting gas in it and getting flat tires. It's not reframing. It's not positive mental attitude. It's not willpower. It's not suppression. You're literally spending time retraining your subconscious to have a negative thought, flip to the more positive one. So now you have step 1, think of a bad experience. Step 2, quickly switch to the larger positive context. Step 3, let that bad experience fade into the presence of the larger positive context. And so this part here happens if you're doing, let's say you're doing 30 seconds, this part here is in 5 seconds, and then you're basking in it for 25 seconds. So in a minute and a half, 2-3 minutes, you can have this exercise done. And then, like I said, 3 times, right? 3 different incidents, and they'll get faster and faster. And then also practice it during real life to get used to it. And there's the summary. You can screenshot that. Just go through those steps. You can literally do this 3 times a day. In 6 weeks, you'll see your life will be on a different trajectory. Why? Because we've done this. We put in a positivity step. So now instead of getting 70% of my stimuli coming in as negative, only 30% are coming in, and I have more capacity to make those assessments.